Hey guys, and welcome to the latest episode of Cultured Boys, a show where two guys just want to talk about stuff. I'm Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by Pepe. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Ready to start the day. It's a Sunday. It's all good. I hope it's a Sunday.
Oh no, behind the scenes. Yeah, whatever.
Nah, it's all good.
It's not like we ain't done that before. Anyway, today we're gonna talk about the new Shaman King anime that came out this year. It was released UK Netflix August 9th, 2021. Released originally in Japan April 1st, 2021.
Yeah, so we got like quite a big gap between getting it over here, well, through Netflix anyway.
Yeah, but to be fair, it is also dubbed, so
That's also true. Yeah.
that's where they put their effort in, and that's why we got it late. But personally, I found myself watching it subbed because I just didn't like the English voices.
Okay, we're jumping straight into the sub versus dub thing. Are you ready?
Look, I didn't intend to, ignite the flames of internet nerd war, but like personally, I watched it sub. I watched the first episode in
Yeah.
dub. Didn't like the voice cast.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't that they were bad. It's just it wasn't what I sort of. It wasn't how I remember because I watched the original anime we had way back in the early 2000s on Jetix and Fox Kids, and
Yeah.
this voice cast was just so different that I couldn't separate memory from like fresh anime, so I had to watch it in Japanese.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, I think for me, it wasn't that much of a big deal for it because I did watch the anime, like you, I did watch the anime a little bit. I say a little bit. I watched it enough when it was on Fox Kids JX. And like I didn't mind the voice cast as much. I think mainly because I had this series on in the background.
Oh, okay.
And I was paying attention to it, obviously. I was generally watching it, but like I think I was just in the mood just to watch a dubbed anime. You know, you just want to watch a dubbed one.
Yeah.
You can't bother to read subs. Like I was in that kind of mood. And like I was like, okay, like it's different from the original voice cast, but I don't mind that. I can roll with that. So it didn't bother me as much, but I know like you and some other people, the dub didn't hit as well.
It's just, again, like for me, it was comparing what came before it, and I know what came before was an interesting choice. You know, like they changed some of the names. Because in this it's closer to the manga, so they've kept the original names. So Rio is Ryu again. But I just did not like the choice for the English voice. Like
Really? Okay, yeah.
I always thought like Rio or Ryu was supposed to be like semi serious, but he was like the comic relief kind of character, and that voice
Yeah.
just didn't match up for me.
Okay.
Also, like Yo Asakura in English, at least for this dub, sounds crazy like Ash Ketchum to me.
Oh, he does have. I noticed this. I was trying to put my finger on who exactly the voice actor was.
I looked it up.
Um,
The voice actress, she's not Ash Ketchum, but she sounds a hell of a lot like it though.
what else has she done? Like,
I don't remember. I looked it up when I watched the first episode. But she hasn't done any Pokemon, like at all.
yeah.
But she sounds almost identical to what I swear Ash Ketchum sounds like, and that really threw me off because
It
basically,
is really familiar. I've got to look it up now.
I mean, go ahead, but yeah, like
I mean, it's the same voice actor as Nezuko from Kimetsu no Yaiba,
Yeah.
so that's one thing.
that, like she's done some high profile stuff, like, but
Yeah.
it was just so strange to me that friggin' as far as my brain could tell, like Ash Ketchum is now a shaman and is controlling a samurai. Like I was like, oh no, I can't deal.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Like, I don't think it bothered me that much, but it's it's fine. I mean, I have no problems with it. I thought the voice acting was alright in it. You're right though, like because Rio in the original anime had the like it was a Hispanic
Yeah.
sort of thing to it, weren't it? There was like
Yeah, he
that
had like
sort
a
of
Hispanic accent, but I guess that's because they changed his name to Rio.
yeah,
So,
it
you know,
makes more sense.
yeah,
It was yeah, you're right though. It doesn't it didn't vibe as well. I get that. I get that.
I don't want to rag on voice actors or whatever. Like, they're just
Mm.
doing their job, right? I just think the director's choice was a bit strange in asking for
Hmm.
that delivery. It just didn't seem to fit the character, at least to me.
No, I can understand that.
Like, okay, whatever, right? The deep voice, whatever. It was just, I don't know, the choice to make him sort of like a bit hard man, bit Elvisy, didn't, it just seemed really strange.
It's different to what we're used to at the same time. I think like maybe if like maybe our opinion would be different if we hadn't watched that original anime though, like the original one.
True, but saying that, if I hadn't watched the original, then I probably would have been like, I'm not watching this because I don't know what this is, like most people. Because, like, the only reason I read the manga was because I watched the anime back in the day, and the
Hmm.
old anime didn't have the real ending. So, like, I read the manga, like, years and years later. And so, like, don't get me wrong, I'm really happy this is out, and that Shaman King gets, like, its, second chance in the sun. I really hope it succeeds and does well because like I'm seriously ready for a second wave of merch. Like new games and stuff. Like I'm just ready for it
Yeah.
all. I want Shaman King to be loved again so that I can love it again. Like
It's worth saying as well that like right now on Netflix it only goes up to 13 episodes.
yeah,
But
and that's basically just enough to get sort of into the nitty gritty of it, but not in so deep into the series.
yeah, it's like it's a good starting point in it. It's like it's a good like first arc, and then like it's gonna get into more as it goes on.
Yeah, it's a good first arc, but at the same time, again, comparing to what I remember, like it felt like the pacing in this was like super fast.
Oh, 100%. This is something I wanted to talk about as well. Is that like obviously both of us coming from the previous anime, like we know how that went, and like this was going so quickly compared.
The fact that in 13 episodes they got to where they got is crazy because I swear in the old anime that was probably 2 seasons.
I thought that as well. Like the whole like the Tao arc, just like
Yeah,
that was
like
over like in literally 2 episodes. I swear.
yeah, and I swear that was like in the old one, like Dragon Ball, like
Yeah.
probably like 15 episodes or something, and it was probably not
Yeah.
15, but like it felt like it was loads of episodes, and you were watching that for ages.
That's one of my like sort of gripes with it in a way. Like I thought like the pacing was way too fast in some of these things. When you get like a new fight coming in, where it was like say who was he fighting? I can't remember. Ice dude.
Hold on, hold
Not
on.
Trey. He was called hold on. That was it. Like that fight was like over in like one episode, weren't it? I feel like they at least spanned across three in the original anime, and I was kind of expecting that.
My thinking
Like
is maybe it's closer to the manga pacing. Like obviously because now it's the internet is a little more knowledgeable and a little more tolerant of like things being closer to source. And I forgot to do the research, as in like to read some of the early Shaman King manga to see how quickly things happen. But my guess is that it's this fast because that's how fast it was in the manga.
possibly, yeah.
And they probably already tried to stretch it out just a little bit.
Yeah, I reckon like at that time as well. I imagine the Shaman King manga is actually still ongoing at the time that anime was
Yeah,
going out.
exactly. The original one we watched was probably like every anime from back in the day. It was like, oh, we really need to stretch this out because
Yeah,
we're like almost up to date to where the guy, like where the mangaka
yeah.
is. So
So they want to get as much out of it as possible. It's like just trying to stretch it out, which is a thing. Like so now that the series is completed, they don't have to worry about pacing that as much. Like oh, we don't need to
yeah,
stretch this
exactly.
episode out into this long. Which is fair. I get that, but like for me, like I thought some of the action was over too quickly in some of these
I agree.
episodes. Like
It
I
felt rushed.
in it, yeah, that's the best way to put it. I think it just felt rushed. I think I didn't really get in. That's what kind of put me off it a little bit more. Like because this is the thing with this anime. Like there's certain bits of it which I don't know. I can't really get on board with as much as the previous one. Yeah, the pacing is one issue that I had. the other issue that I hate to like bring out issues straight away, like we're only like quite early in on this conversation, but like some of the animation as well, it looked clean. Don't get me wrong, but like some of the like character designs look really strange. I don't know if you noticed it as well. Like Yo's head would be like twice the size of his body at some points.
Uh, I can't say I noticed that personally, but I would have to assume that's probably from changing animator to animator. Um,
Yeah, it's just at one point like I don't know, his head was absolutely massive and like his body was tiny, and I was like, bloody hell, it's like fucking like Code Lyoko shit going on right now. Yeah, I don't know if anyone remembers Code Lyoko, but it's that fucking 3D anime kind
oh
of thing.
God.
And like they had a fucking massive
Yep.
forehead. And I was like, it's just like a massive head on this small body, and it just looks so strange. As if it was with Anna as well. I mean, Manta is like Manta, so you can kind of get away with that.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like he's a short ass. But I don't know, some of the like body proportions compared to head was just a bit. It was noticeable for me. I couldn't take my eyes off it once I noticed it.
See, I have a minor gripe, right? If we're gonna be moaning a little bit, right? I have a very
Yeah.
minor gripe, and that is that this new opening does not hit nearly as hard as that OG English opening we had.
I
I
completely agree. Like it's.
I listened to that English opening again, and I was vibing so hard. But every time after the first episode in this new one, I skipped the intro on Netflix every time that button came up. Every single time.
Yeah, it's not even like a good intro for me.
No, it wasn't. It's not like, when you listen to it, it wasn't. Not once did it cross my mind to go, I need to look that up so I could add that to the Cultured Boys playlist on Spotify. No, I was like,
Exactly.
nah.
That's my thoughts as well.
Because I thought, oh, if it's good, then like, yeah, that's another song for the playlist, isn't it? That'd be sick, right? Nah, that song, like, I was out within the first like second of that song. I'm just like, no thanks.
Nah, I completely agree. It's like I don't know, it just didn't have any hype behind it. Like even that's the thing with anime intros as well. Sometimes even if you don't like it at the start, you keep hearing it.
And it'll grow on you, but this never grew on me once.
No,
Probably because I
absolutely
skipped it
not.
every time for 12
Mate,
episodes.
I didn't
but
skip it every time. I listened to it every time on the hopes that maybe it will get better. Maybe like there'll be something different in it. But it doesn't. Honestly, mate. It like this like it's a low tier anime intro.
And that's such a shame. It's such a shame because again, that if you have never heard that English opening right from the old anime, please go look it up. It's actually really good.
Yeah.
I love
I
that
agree.
song. I used to way back in school. I actually used to have that as one of the songs on my MP3 player or on my iPod. Like,
Yeah. I feel like this whole anime in general is gonna like we're not gonna be able to just be like, oh, here's a complete clear review of like what we believe this anime is. I think it's gonna be comparing this to the old anime. It's just gonna be like that naturally because
yeah,
it is what we knew beforehand. It's how I got into Shaman King. It's how you got into
yeah,
Shaman King.
it's how most of us
And
probably did
yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah, and like my I don't know, this anime like at times as well, it felt a bit boring to me. I don't know if you felt the same. Like I think I genuinely actually fell asleep in a couple of episodes, by the way.
I
Like
I didn't think it lulled that much actually. Besides the pacing issue and stuff, like I actually thought mostly this was an improvement over the original.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the action was cool, like, and that sort of thing. And I think the thing is because I only watched the anime and I've only read about 4 volumes of the manga, so I know like some of the real names of the characters, and I know how some of the story goes properly. But like to me, that like this is all like the uncensored stuff. Like I didn't realize that Faust was actually operating on Manta and almost killing him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the original anime.
No,
Like,
it wasn't.
on Fox Kids.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of things that weren't in the original. Like in the original, like okay, Tao Len, as they call him, like he's a bastard child, right? Not in the like the literal sense. He's just a little shit, right? He's angry and he's like belligerent, but like in the original and in this anime, like he is a straight up little fuckboy. Like
Yeah.
turns up and basically chat shit and then is willing to just straight up kill people. He's not fucking around, right? But that's how it is in the original. And Faust in the original was just sort of like, oh, my Anna, like I lost her to disease, and that's why I'm a necromancer. They probably don't even say necromancer, but like,
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
like it's his is like a tragic story, but like in the actual, in this and the manga, like he's fucked up. He's straight fucked up because he's like, I lost the love of my life and I've gone insane.
Yeah. Faust was actually one of my favorite characters when I first got into Shaman King. Actually,
Horror or Trey was my favorite back then.
yeah.
And nowadays I'm like, no, he's just a joke.
Horror. That's the one thing about this anime. It just gives like it puts Ryu and Horror on the same level.
They always were though. That's the thing.
I never realized that. I always thought that Ryu was like.
Yeah, I know. Like in the original, like Ryu was like, or the anime that came out in the early 2000s, Rio was just a complete joke, and Trey was like super sick. But actually, no, they're both like comic relief.
Yeah, it kind of sucks like that. If you like, because I did expect a bit more from Horo. Like I did feel like he might be a bit more of an epic character, but turns out he's just not as good as I remember him being.
The thing is, like,
I like his powers. But,
yeah, his powers are sick, and that translated over. But the one thing I did appreciate that this anime does is it injected back some of that comedy that was in the original manga. Because like the one we watched before, like there were funny bits, but like mostly it was like a shonen. Like they cut a lot of the comedy and it was like fairly serious. But this one I like that they put in some more of those comedic elements. Like at times, to me at least when I was watching, Anna was a more likable character because like there's that episode after Ryu like thanks them and she's like, oh, he cooked, and he's like, oh yeah, please hire me as the chef for your inn. And she has that daydream where she's like, oh yeah, actually like a fancy inn baba, like yeah, that could be cool. And then like that becomes like a callback joke because I swear at one point Yo says something or someone says something. I think it's with the fight in with Horror. They're ragging on his outfit, on Yo's outfit, and she literally does the innkeeper slap.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
And it's like things like that. Like some characters have little callback jokes, but Anna specifically at times, like I remember in the original anime that we had, like I never liked Anna as a character. She was always such a bitch. Like she would just come in and be like, you're not good enough. You got to train. I'm way better than everyone. I'm superior. And her character's normally like that anyway, even in the manga. But like, when she has a bit of the comedy or she has a few parts where she's like, being the kid that she actually is, she becomes a little more relatable, a little more likable.
I feel like it's down to the voice acting in that as well. Because I remember like in the original anime as well, like I know it had that really like kind of like British voice about her.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like sort of like sort of like snooty sort of voice. And like with the facial expression, it kind of comes across a bit differently. But like this one, I completely agree. She does come across as more likable, like a bit more friendly, down to earthy kind of thing. But obviously, still keeping that serious tone at the same time. But yeah, it's weird how like the different voice actors can change, like alter your perception of the character itself.
Yeah, I mean, well, because it then becomes like that character comes to life in it. So depending on your choices, like that character could be completely different. But it's also like the choices of the showrunner to like cut certain things out. Like again, in the original, they probably cut out those bits. So Anna was just a serious character who looked her nose down at most people, and then no wonder why people probably didn't like her as much. Overall though, like I would seriously recommend go and watch this anime. Like it was, despite us saying this, that, the other, it was still really good.
I'm still definitely gonna stick with it. That's the one thing with it. Even though like I did say I fell asleep on the episodes, and I had like gripes with the animation and that and the opening. Um, I still think that I'm gonna stick with it, and I want to see like where the episodes go as well. Because it ended quite well. I liked how it ended in episode 13.
Yeah.
Like, where you see, like, Hal being just, like, complete bastard and just killing people.
Well, because
And,
he is a complete
yeah,
bastard.
it is. That's it, isn't it? He's, like, I like to see that sort of thing. It feels a bit more serious, and I can't wait to see, like, where it goes from there. Because, like, although, yeah, I did watch the anime back in the day, and I remember certain bits from it, I don't remember the whole thing. And you've like seen the series a lot more, Nathan, so you'll know a lot more than I will.
Yeah. How in the original, like, didn't even appear that much.
Was he even called Hal?
Um, I think he was.
Was he? Okay, I just do not remember
Like,
him
but that's the thing,
then.
because with the anime we watched back in the day, if he did appear, it was normally like for a couple of seconds. Like he'd be in like a 20-second little thing where they basically would just cut to him so he would say something and be like, "Oh, I'm waiting for you, yo," and then he would disappear again and not appear for like another like 20 episodes or something. And
Yeah,
then the only time you really saw him was right at the end of the anime when he had to be in it because he was part of the story more.
yeah.
But in this, he's been injected like more than in that original one.
I mean, right now, like from what I've seen, he looks like a sick villain. I can't wait to see like a battle with him and see how like Yo plans to overcome him. I can't wait to see Yo's powers grow as well because I know for a fact like he has like more stuff to learn.
Well, I mean, it's also shonen in it, so it's like
Yeah,
shit's coming, shit's coming. But
yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing the new characters as well. How they are they actually gonna keep the name of Chocolove McDonald?
I think they did, but
Have they
they did
actually?
they did change his design as I can see from the opening because they put in all the
Yeah.
characters in the opening animation. But
Hmm.
he's been altered so he's not as racist. Because my God, was it racist?
He's a probably problematic character.
Yeah, the name is still problematic, but at least it's not as problematic because it doesn't match with the super racist drawing.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see how it goes because I don't know. I don't think they've dubbed it yet. His entrance. I don't
No,
know. Not that I know of anyway. I reckon we'll get more episodes of it. We'll probably get like a season 2, what they'll say, or like an extended season 1, whatever they want to call it. Like because right now it's continuous in Japan. So
it might. Yeah, you're right. It might be just season one, part two, or it might just be season two. I don't know how Netflix are gonna do it, but it's
yeah.
clear, like it's obvious. There's still way more. I can't again because of pacing. I have no idea when Chocolove's gonna turn up in the series
Mm.
because it felt like ages into it, at least in the original one, the
Mm.
original anime before he turned up. Like, because like they've also got like Lysander
That's what I
in
was
the
thinking as
opening,
well. Like,
and like Lysander in the original anime we watched, like I felt like he didn't come into it until like past halfway. But
I
again, like
agree. Yeah.
him and Chocolove, they could turn up in episode 14 for all I fucking know. Like,
Yeah, it's true. Like I have no clue what like I don't even know like who the villains are from here on really. Like because I remember all the main characters from there, but I don't really remember many of the villains. I actually remember the I can't remember her name who turns up in the last episode. Who tries to warn Yo, Ryu, and Horo and
oh
Ren.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember what her name is, but she gives like she tries to stop him, don't she? But then she learns the truth about whatever. She lets him carry on. I don't remember. I remember her. I remember like weirdly. I remember her, but I don't obviously remember her dying.
Again, she probably didn't. Like,
Yeah,
they didn't
probably got
show
cut
that.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we were just left to assume, I guess. Yeah, I remember that character. From what I remember of the manga, the villains from now on are just sort of like other shaman and like house crew, because like house
Yeah.
recruited like just a shit ton of people, and it's supposed to be like basically they're gonna try and get in their way. If I remember correctly, there'll be other shamans they have to fight because the tournament will progress, and there'll be trials at some point. Spoiler alert, by the way, for an old series. in the manga, at some point they need to combine and make teams.
Yeah.
Then, that becomes the point of conflict because it's obviously like 3-man teams versus other 3-man teams.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the whole series in general when it does come around again.
Oh yeah, like that's why I'm so excited because like I have all this knowledge, but like I know there's a bunch of action to come. Like there is so much action on the way. We just have to wait. Is all.
Yeah, no, I'm ready for that. It sounds fun. Nice.
Oh god, not that again.
But yeah, is there anything else you have left to say about Shaman King, Nathan?
No, not that I can think of. Like besides again recommending, like please do actually go and watch it. Show the series some love because back in the day it was actually one of those like top shonen in Jump. We didn't get it till so late in the West that by the time its popularity dipped, we were just getting it because it was that weird time period. So not many people know about this series, and it deserves love because it is a really good series.
It's good to see it like come back. To be fair, I think it's definitely one I wasn't expecting to come back like in this sort of form. And like it's not owned by Jump anymore, is it? It's owned by a different company.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Shueisha lost the rights to it.
Oh, that sucks. So maybe there's not going to be so much
So yeah,
merch.
I don't know. You never know. Like it depends on which company's bought. I can't remember which one exactly. But the fact they've got an anime, it gives you hope for it.
Yeah.
You won't be seeing Yo in any Jump crossover games. Let's put it that way.
That's all right. The way those games went, I'm not buying them anyway.
Damn it, Nathan. But yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like you, I can't wait to see more of the anime when it comes out. Hopefully, we do get some cool merch, like you said. Some games, maybe. Hopefully, a revival of more stuff to come.
Yeah, man. Like I spoke about it before. Like the games were actually cool. The ones that were made back in the day, we just didn't get a lot of them, or any of them, at least in the UK. So I'm excited at the prospects of things like that. Just go and watch it. Just
go watch it. Go watch it. Form your own opinions on it. If you haven't watched the old anime, like go watch it.
Probably better for you, to be fair.
Yeah. If you have watched the old anime, go watch it anyway. Yeah. Because like you can compare it if you really want to. Like maybe it kind of feels like its own standalone thing at this point, but I can't help but compare it. Nathan can't help but compare it because we both watched it.
Yeah.
So,
but it's shinier. It's newer. Actually, it's I think cleaner. I feel like it looks way cleaner than the original one did. So yeah,
action is on point. Definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well, that very much wraps up for today. Thank you for listening to this latest episode. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, all those other things. Anything you want to say, Nathan?
I just want to say don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, hit that bell button so you get notified. And yeah, that's it. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.